Welcome everyone. Congratulations, you're nearly there. That's chapter number 7 of our kids module, and the title for today's talk is The Heart for the House. Understanding the role of children's ministry within the overall vision of the church and how to ensure its integration into church life. Today we're going to be talking about creating a structure, making sure that we are connected to all the departments in the church, and that our children's ministry is not growing as a separate body, as a different body to the main church, to the main congregation, which can easily happen, and I will share with you later on the mistakes we did in that regard. Integrity is very important for our personal lives. Being Christians, we should know that concept, that we are one person, regardless what we do. We are connected within ourselves, and that concept of integrity should be also well known in the church. Why is that? Because people like to be known as just keeping to themselves or taking care of their little garden, little area, and we don't want to do that in the church. We don't want to promote the aspect of being emotionally attached to the little chair they always sit in, or the ministry is something they do in the church. We want to promote an attitude of serving and servanthood when we are ready to do whatever needs to be done. But also, if we don't have to change, if there is no need to change what we're doing, we appreciate other people, we appreciate other ministries, and we know that everything which happens in the church is important. When we get our cup of tea, or if someone opens the door for us, or if someone teaches our children, that's all important and needed in the church. Talking about one body, a local church being one body, I take this metaphor quite literal. I can picture the church as a living body, as one unit. And why is that so important? Because when you have your body and your little toe hurts, then you're not able to do many things in life. You're not able maybe to go for your walks, or you're not able to run, or maybe put the shoes put on the shoes you really like and would go with your outfit. Plus you're in pain, you're hurting, so your focus is on your little toe. And this is how it works in the church. And why I like the metaphor of a body, of a local church being a body, because I like to see it being alive. I like to see it growing, moving, and functioning and doing whatever needs to be done. So within that, we need to see children's ministry, especially if we see children's ministry as a kids church, or if we're talking about teens, as a youth club, maybe on Friday nights. That can have a potential of having these little groups having their own lives and growing their own bodies, their own legs, and maybe going a little bit different direction of, wandering off. Before we go into a practical structure building ideas, I want to share with you this scripture which I love, and it's one of my favorite passages in the Bible. It's something which helps me to understand my role, my responsibilities, but also my limitations. So let's first read the passage I want to share with you. It's in Ephesians 4, 11 to 13. So Christ himself gave the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, the pastors and teachers to equip his people for works of service, so that the body of Christ may be built up until we all reach unity in the faith and in the knowledge of Son of God and become mature. And we'll stop here. So the Christ himself gave, and for the purpose of today's lesson, we'll say the leadership. Okay, I understand that. I hope you understand different aspects and different callings and different supernatural giftings which are carried by the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, and the pastors and the teachers. But for the simplicity of today's main thought, I will just put it in the category of leadership. And I understand that you who are listening to these talks, you don't have to be the main leader, or you don't even have to be leading any ministry yet. You're just training, you're developing, you're investing in your growth to be equipped in the main body. And that's okay. Today I'm going to be talking more from the perspective of being a leader, but if you're not in that position yet, hopefully today's lesson will help you to see the bigger picture, help you to see maybe a little bit from above, just how important all the departments are. I hope to draw maybe a map of different parts of one body today. So again, Christ himself gave the leadership to do what? To equip, to make sure that his people, Christ's people, are prepared for works of service, so the body, the church, can be built up until we all reach unity in the faith. We are all important. We are all needed, but we carry different roles and different gifts and talents, and in that we also carry different limitations. First I want to emphasize that Christ gave all these different people, or all these different gifts to the church. There is no one person, at least that's my understanding, who carry all these gifts. There is no one person who should be doing all these things, because we need to build on relationship. We need to depend on each other. We need to make sure that we do part, and that we realize that we only do a part of everything else, and that we understand and we know partly as well, and there is somebody else who is a gift, who is the gift from Christ to the body of believers, to the local church. So why is that important? I feel many times that, especially in countries with post-Catholic culture, the background from the Catholic Church, many people who are called into ministry, who are called to be serving in the church in a more responsible capacity, carry this guilt, this sense of guilt that they need to be knowing all, be talented, be experienced in everything, and actually doing everything. That's something I want to clarify today. I believe there is a specific role for leadership, and I know the next chapter, the next lesson is about the very thing: how to grow your team, how to keep enthusiastic, how to do leadership in the aspect of the kids ministry. So today I hope when we emphasize on your role as a leader to be equipping, training, making sure the structure works for everybody, that because of that we're taking the pressure off. You're not the person who should be doing it all. You should be making sure that you have people you're investing in and they're doing the works of service. And bringing it back to my own experience and my own ministry, I'm as a kids pastor, let's say for now, I'm able to jump in and do any part of the ministry, I can cover for anybody in the ministry. It doesn't mean that I'm better than anybody else. I actually have wonderful and way more talented and experienced people in my team. I have people like Joelle, you met her. She is a professional teacher. She's very passionate about teaching and she can prepare so well. I would never do what she does as well as she does it. But if she is sick on Sunday morning, I can come in and cover for her. Why I'm saying that? Because I believe that if you are a leader, you need to know what to do, but you don't have to be doing it. So I'm ready to do it, but that's not my job. My main job is to help Joelle to get the right tools to be actually presenting the lesson to the children. And of course, Joelle is only one of the team members. So in a sense, I would rather to speak about leadership and leaders in the children's ministry, and in a sense, I would rather to find the right person to lead the ministry than to actually present it and perform it to the kids. So we're focusing today about the leadership aspect. Leaders who can be teachers and not very talented teachers who are maybe not leaders that much. Because for the ministry to function, we need leadership. We need someone who is organizing and directing everything on the floor, everything which actually happens with children and their parents. And now, being very practical, I want to present to you the structure we came up with. This structure is maybe quite unusual in terms of organizing the kids and the youth together into one ministry under one department. So hopefully in your church, you have the main leader, the main pastor, who carries the weight, who carries the heart of the church, who has the vision and who has the responsibility to keep everything within that vision. In our church, we noticed that we can put everything which happens in the church and for our people into 4 different categories, into 4 different departments. And first, we have small groups. small groups, home groups, connect groups, life groups, however you call them. These are the groups which happen during the week, maybe at homes or maybe in the church building. That's one of the departments in the church. The next one is Connect. Connect covers anything which makes you feel welcomed on Sunday morning. Ushers, welcomers, hospitality. Your cup of tea is prepared by the Connect team. So anything which makes sure that people feel at home, they're under this department. Then we have Create. Create connects and takes care of all the artistic people, musicians, light, sound, media, all this which is visible and we can hear it. This is under one department. And these people, they really need each other. They can be quite sensitive, but also very, very talented, and they're very, very needed. And the last one, which is my department, we call it Next Gen, which is Next Generation. And that covers all the children under the age of 18. And that, in a sense, is quite unusual because I take care of anything and everything which is to do with babies, primary school, and teenagers. Why and how we got to that point to create this kind of structure and put one person above everything which has anything to do with children and teenagers. We made mistakes. I told you I would be sharing our mistakes. And one of the mistakes we happened to do a few times, we didn't learn for the first time for some reason, or we didn't realize what we needed to learn, was to give the kids ministry to somebody who was extremely talented, who had an amazing interaction abilities with children, maybe not so much with the adults, but they were amazing in the classrooms. They were amazing to organize the Sunday school, the teachings, the materials. They were really good performing the class, but they weren't connected to the heart and to the vision of the pastor of the church. They in a sense weren't going the same direction. We realized quite late, after some time, when the kids ministry already grew their little legs and they were wandering off a different direction. And I'm sure if you serve in the church, you know that it's easier to give and it's very hard to take away. So it was hard to say, okay, you're not leading that ministry anymore, because we have a different vision for it. We have a different direction, and we need to make sure somebody who is leading that department is connected to the vine, is connected to the heart of the church. Like I said, we did the same mistake a few times. Obviously, you don't want to make mistakes like that, and at first you don't know. But now our structure is changed to make sure that this never happens again. So how that works for our leadership team is all these departments, they have their directors, and this is our main leadership team. We in Limerick, we work with volunteers. I've seen churches who are able to employ all these directors, all these pastors, and that's quite amazing. But in our case, we're not able to do that. So this helps us to be clear. This helps us to be organized. This helps us to be friends with all these departments, all these directors, really. It's easier, much easier for the pastor to just communicate with 4 people and be pastoral towards them, know them, know what's the story in their life and what happens, and get reports as well. So this is how our leadership meetings look like. And just imagine if you are the main pastor, if you are the main leader, just imagine how much easier that is to connect with just one person who connects with their team leaders, and their team leaders connect with their teams. It actually happens that we have 3 different age groups in Next Gen. Create, I believe, have 3 different parts in their department, and Connect has their 3 different parts. So ideally, you see a leader here and a leader here, and a leader here. So I make sure that I connect with 3 my leaders. Sarah, who you'll meet soon during the 10th session, she connects with her team leaders. And then Temba, who directs Connect, he has his own key people. And my team leaders, that works for us, like these 3 teams cover 3 different age groups, and I spoke about it on the previous lesson. We have kids church, and we have youth. I forgot to say welcome to our youth room. That's one of them. They claimed 2 rooms for themselves, and I'm very happy to be here. It's a cool room. Everything about youth needs to be cool. So we have our youth leader organizing that. That is quite unusual, but it helps us to put everything to do with people under 18 under one leadership, under one umbrella. I happen to be a child protection officer in our church as well, so I make sure that these people here, these leaders, are happy to run the ministries, their teams, but also that everything is according to the child protection guidance and to the legal regulations, legal responsibilities in our organization, in our church. Like I said, I can cover for all these people here, but that's not my main job. That's only an emergency scenario. So my main job is disciple these leaders, invest in them, put into them, make sure I know them, make sure I'm friends with them, make sure that I pray for them, and I know their families, I know where they're up. That helps, generally speaking, the flow of the church, the growth and the walk, the movement. It means there is no no misunderstandings within the ministry. It means that we don't steal each other from different ministries. That means that in the calendar I can make sure that youth serves the kids. The kids team can help with babies if that needs to be. That makes sure that there is a smooth transition, smooth graduation, that the kids are taken care of within the same ministry. That also means that our youth leaders who are quite young, they can be discipled, they can be trained, and with their excitement, also all this paperwork, all this data protection, child protection is taken care of. So I'm there with maybe a bit cooler head to make sure everybody is safe, everybody is guard-vetted, everybody is prepared from the guidance from the legal perspective. So that helps also. When we sit around one table, all the directors, we appreciate each other. We know what's going on for different ministries, and we know we're just one part of the whole body. We are doing as much or as important things as Connect does. I want to appreciate everybody the same. I don't want to create superstars in the church. I don't want to be one either. So this structure works for clarity, information flow, for planning, and for close personal relationship. It's just practical. It's practical to be talking to 3 people and they talk to their 4, 5, 6 people in their teams, and they know what's going on in their teams' lives. In those people, they know who is stepping up, they know who is stepping down, they know who is taking a break, they know who is having a baby and who is going on maternity. They know who is shy or who is well outspoken. They know all of that. My team now is a bit smaller, so I personally know all of the team members, but I just don't have capacity to know everything about them, but I can make sure that I know a lot about my 3 main leaders. That's my key people, and we support each other. That goes also this way. This person needs to be seeing the kids' key people as their team members. And that's very important, especially from the youth perspective. I find very often that they like to be different, they like to be separated, but youth leaders, they need their peers to support them. So we make sure we pray for each other, and we make sure that the youth leader, even if he's not interested in knowing, but we make sure he knows what happens in the babies department, and then that he knows what are the challenges, what are the plans, even in terms of maintaining the right building structure and making sure that the youth doesn't take over the whole building and the babies are put just there in the corner. I represent all those needs and all those challenges and plans at our leadership table, and that works for us. I'm sure you can come up with the structure which works for you. I'm sure you need to be looking at your needs separate to what I just presented, but that's something I find which I find very helpful and very practical. I find that just possible to do even if people are volunteers. Working with volunteers is a different topic, it's a different chapter of the whole story. I don't think we're going to be able to cover that in detail, but that's different. That's different to having employees, and that's one of the main characteristics for churches in Europe, for churches in Ireland. We always need to consider that people have their families, people have their job, but they still want to serve, they still want to give their time and effort into the church. So we are responsible as leaders to create a structure which helps to communicate easily and clearly with everybody else, and that everyone is supported and they know where they belong, and also that they belong to a smaller group of people within the bigger group. Really, with adults, it's not much different to the kids. Everybody wants to feel significant, wants to feel known, and wants to belong. So we learned that this structure helps us to cover all these needs. There is one more aspect I want to cover today, and that's self-responsibility, to be connected and to feel connected to the main body. Like we said, I think a few times, it's very easy for kids workers and youth workers to feel they're doing their own thing. Especially if you're working on Sunday morning, you're serving on Sunday morning, you start before everybody else arrives, and you finish after everybody is gone. We offer evaluation meetings, so after every service for our team, different teams actually, so that drags your serving even longer, and really there is no tea left when we finish, no tea available when we finish. So how to make sure that we, being adults, we make sure that we are connected, that we are not growing as strangers. First, we need to take care of our spiritual growth. We need to be responsible to hear the preachings, to go back and listen them online, or take notes, or talk to someone who listened to the preaching. And we need to make sure that we know what's going on. We need to read the church emails. We need to make sure we ask questions, we know what's going on ahead of time, so we need to know what happens in the other departments for all the events. We are responsible to be informed and connected. We also are responsible to build significant relationships and make friends in the church outside of our ministry. I feel that's quite important, because people have this tendency of keeping just to themselves and surround themselves with people very similar to them. So that's safe. People like routine. People like knowing what's going on. So reaching out and branching out, it's very important for your self-growth and emotional and spiritual health. With all of that, we need to know who is doing what. We need to know names of other people. We need to see that there is different bits and different parts, but we are one body. When you make sure that you grow spiritually and you stay healthy emotionally, then you will never fall out, you will never go a different direction. If you're not one of the leaders Please make sure you are available for discipling, for being discipled, that you are offering yourself an open heart for your pastor or your leader to speak into your life. You give reports, you voice your opinions within the team, within the structure. If there is trouble, if you're confused, if you're hurt, that's your responsibility then to bring it to your leadership, to your leader, to your immediate person who takes care of you, because we are all people and we all make mistakes, but being adults, we are role models for spiritual and emotional and social health. That's very significant. We are actually role modeling how it's all supposed to be done. It doesn't mean we don't do mistakes. We do loads of mistakes. I do anyway. Maybe you don't. Then we go back. We apologize. We hug and shake hands whenever that's allowed again. And we move on because we understand we are a part of one family. What I find very important is that communication is key here. So when you need to move on, when you need to change departments, when you need to take a break, you communicate that. And I appreciate face-to-face communication, and I don't know anybody who wouldn't appreciate that over a text or even a phone call. I'm really a face-to-face person, so I pray and hope that we meet face-to-face one day. Maybe before you start watching all of that, but also maybe later on with other students when we're able to teach and meet face to face. I love this personal connection, and I realize it's so needed. It's so needed. So in a summary, guys, my favorite verse, Ephesians 4, says that we are given to the church to be influencing others, equipping, training, giving them tools for them to do the works of service. And that takes the pressure off. You don't have to do it all. You don't have to know it all. You need to be willing to cover for someone or step in because you are in a position of leadership. You need to be willing to not take self-worth from the title or from the position. If you are a director, you can be a director of anything, really, and this is how I see it. You can be safe in knowing that you are just a part of a bigger body. Let's make sure that we are growing, we are moving, we are going the same direction with the heart, within the heart and the vision of the church, which is hopefully carried by your senior leadership team, by your pastor. So I will leave you with that. I bless you guys. I'll see you again when we will be talking about safety for the children and for their parents, for the families, when we will be talking about child and data protection. Stay safe. God bless.